The last winter has felt unyielding. Well into March, snow and frost was still blanketing the land. As the spring equinox arrived, the snow began to melt, and the rains began. The spring showers brought a symphony of colour. The world woke up. The ground shrugged, the bees started buzzing, the birds started singing, and it was time for me to start moving too. It is early March. It's about 2 weeks before the spring equinox. A few years ago I decided to start celebrating the Sabbats over a longer period of time instead of trying to smush all of this stuff into one day like I used to. Just meant I felt really disconnected from the season. I felt a lot of pressure, especially from some of the online community, to be doing these big rituals all in one day, and it didn't work for me. Seasons don't change in a day, and so I don't need to celebrate the change of a season all in one day. Today it is pouring down with rain. It's very grey, it's very overcast, and it feels like the perfect time to start. So today I'm going to start by picking a couple areas of my house, and I'm going to take everything out and go through and decide what is staying in my life and what isn't. What do I want to take with me into spring, and what can I pass on to someone else? Big important factor for me when getting rid of items from the house is making sure that I do it in as sustainable a way as possible. So to do that I start by firstly getting rid of items that in no way can be salvaged, and I try and recycle them as much as possible. If that's clothing that can't be salvaged, can I keep the fabric and can I use it for something? If not, it goes in a bag and it goes straight to fabric recycling, not into your usual bin. Can I give it away? If I can, the first thing I do is I look at my local free cycle page, because individual people will find something that they really want of yours and they will come and pick it up, and you know it's going to a good home and you know it's being used. The last resort of getting rid of things is to give stuff to a charity shop. All of the stuff that I do give away is still of a really high quality and of a really good quality, but I try not to throw too much that way because a lot of them are already overburdened. My house is a work in progress at the moment. I live in my family home and I'm giving certain sections of it a facelift at the moment, but I've definitely felt the spring energy coming in, and I've been working on them a lot over the last few weeks, and now it feels like, okay, I need to start getting rid of some things so that I can continue these projects, and this will culminate on the spring equinox with a large house cleanse. Cleanses look a little bit different for everyone. For me, it's when I do a cleanse, I will open every window in the house. I wash all of the windowsills and doors, all of the liminal spaces, all the mirrors. I like to do a smoke and a sound cleanse using a herb bundle and using a bell that I've got. They're my favourite ways to cleanse. So I cleanse the house that way, and then I'll go and put up all of my protections and start making some protections, some new ones. Revitalised protections. With this video I'm going to take you through how I run up to the spring equinox. This very slow, meaningful, long-term cleanse that I do. How I try and do it in the most sustainable way that I can. Kind of dread clearing out as soon as I start. I get this feeling right beforehand where I'm like, don't do it, and it always happens, but I always feel a lot better for it. So we're gonna get started. I spent a few days on the downstairs of my house cleaning out the kitchen and living room before moving upstairs. You get the idea. I will then sort all of this out and do that with everything in the house. I do this a few times a year, but I haven't done it in a couple. Sabbats. I don't think I've done it in 3 Sabbats. I don't think I've done this properly since last spring. So I feel like this is going to be a bigger clear out than it normally would. So I'm glad I've given myself the 2 weeks. The most important room for me to focus on is my bedroom. That's where my altar lives. That's where I do most of my sacred practices. The energy had felt really stagnant in here for a very long time, so it needed a major change. I took apart furniture, I moved furniture, I got rid of things that were broken. I was incredibly eager to start new again, to celebrating the equinox and the change of the seasons. The first thing I did was cleanse my space. I started with opening all the windows and doors and doing a smoke cleanse. Soon after, to be followed by a sound cleanse. One of my favourite parts every season is changing my altar. I put everything in boxes, get it out the way, remove the altar cloths, get everything feeling new and fresh and clean again. I pray over the space and set my intention before I start making it mine for the next season. I start to put back the items that I feel represent the season and how I'm feeling about it. This process can take me a really long time, so I've shortened it for this. A lot of stopping and starting and changing and seeing what feels right. But my main pieces go on first. My deity statues and my active spellworks. When it's at a point where I'm happy, I will stop for now, but I may chop and change this over the next few days. I started a creativity and Easter spell in this bowl on the table, and I'm adding some herbs to an offering bowl for the deities. This process can take me a few hours, but when I am done, I do my 2 practices to signal that this cleanse is finished. I light the main candle on my altar. And I ring a bell. This Sabbath I also wanted to make a fire-based spellwork ink for my current money workings. I ground up an old volcanic rock that had started to just turn into dust anyway. I added some frankincense that I had lying around and ground that up. Eventually I'll add some ash and a few more herbs. All of these are representative of fire and warmth, and everything that I would like to bring into my life. For me, the most grounding practice each season is to practice being present. For spring, I like to go somewhere where I can see the flowers in full bloom. The trees starting to grow their leaves, the bugs, the butterflies, the birds singing. Surround myself with the colour of the seasons. I try to appreciate the small things that makes this season in particular special. The cool breeze that I know I will miss in the height of summer. The rich variety in all things. The energy shift that every living thing can seem to sense. The change, the energy, the creative flow, getting in contact with that and channeling it into my own life. To be around the elements, to be around the water, but most of all, the richness of colour that you won't find anywhere else. Something unique to spring. Seasonal fresh foods, vegetables, spring leaves, reading in the grass, bathing in that warmth of the sun. And however you choose to celebrate spring, do it with people you love. Thank you for watching.